Grandkids, what outdated tech did your grandparents hilariously misuse? My grandpa Antonio is literally the sweetest man alive, but technology-wise, he's completely hopeless. My grandma passed away last year, and we've all been trying to help him adjust to living alone, which includes getting him more comfortable with tech so we can video chat with him regularly. So anyway, my mom bought him an iPad for Christmas last year so he could FaceTime with all of us, and maybe learn to check his email or whatever. We set it up super simple for him. Big icons, simplified settings, the works. He seemed to get the hang of it at first. Like he could answer our FaceTime calls and we'd chat for a bit. But then after a few weeks, he started complaining that the iPad was broken and that it keeps turning off on him. We all just assumed the battery was dying or he wasn't charging it properly. My mom tried to troubleshoot over the phone, but Grandpa kept getting frustrated and saying we needed to come see it in person. My parents live out of state now, and my brother Ryden was busy with his kids. So it fell to me to be the family tech support. Yay me, LOL. The thing is, I was super busy with my own stuff, and TBH I kept putting it off because driving to Grandpa's takes like an hour each way. I know that sounds awful, but I was just thinking it was probably something super simple that could wait until my next scheduled visit. I'd call him every couple days, and he'd immediately start complaining about the broken iPad and how he couldn't use it anymore. Eventually, I promised I'd come that weekend, but then he called me on Thursday night all upset saying he really needed help now because he was trying to look at some old family photos my cousin Mira had sent him. He sounded genuinely distressed, so I felt bad and decided to head over first thing Friday morning. I get to his house around 10 a.m. and he's so excited to see me, like practically pulling me through the door, talking about how he needs to show me the broken iPad situation right away. His excitement was kind of sweet NGL, but I was mentally preparing myself for something ridiculously simple, like him forgetting to charge it, or accidentally turning on airplane mode. So we get to the living room and I'm looking around for the iPad but don't see it anywhere. I ask him where it is and he points to this old wooden TV stand across the room and says it's in there. I'm confused because why would he put the iPad inside the TV stand? But I go over and open the cabinet doors, and there, sitting perfectly centered on the middle shelf, is a freaking picture frame, not an iPad. A digital picture frame from like 2008 that I vaguely remember my mom giving him and Grandma years ago. One of those early ones where you load photos via SD card. I just stare at it for a solid minute trying to process what I'm seeing. When I turn around all confused, Grandpa is standing there looking proud and says that Mira sent him new pictures for the iPad last month, but they only showed up for a few seconds before disappearing. He demonstrates by pressing the power button on the frame and sure enough it turns on, displays a photo for about 5 seconds, then goes back to sleep mode because that's what digital frames from 2008 do. I'm trying so hard not to laugh as I realize what's happening. He genuinely thought this ancient digital frame was the iPad we gave him, for weeks. And every time he tried to use it, it would just show a photo briefly, then go back to sleep mode, which he interpreted as it being broken and turning off. But wait, it gets better. I ask him where the actual iPad is, thinking maybe he put it away somewhere when he got frustrated with it. He looks at me all confused and says, "That is the iPad, Julie. You all gave it to me for Christmas." I'm literally biting my cheek at this point, trying not to lose it. I gently explain that no, that's an old digital picture frame, not an iPad. The iPad is a flat tablet computer. He looks genuinely shocked and says, "But it shows pictures like you all said it would." I ask where he thinks he's been FaceTiming us from for the past few months if this frame was the iPad. And that's when things clicked for him. His eyes got all wide and he hurried to his bedroom. I followed him and watched as he pulled open his nightstand drawer, and there, buried under some magazines and mail, was the actual iPad. Perfectly fine, just needed charging. He looked at me with the most bewildered expression and said that he thought he had 2 iPads. The big one in the living room for pictures, the digital frame, and this small one for the video calls. He genuinely had no idea they were completely different devices from different decades. I plugged in the real iPad to charge while trying to explain the difference, but by this point I couldn't hold in my laughter anymore. When I asked why he never mentioned having 2 iPads during all those calls when we were trying to troubleshoot, he just shrugged and said he didn't want to make us jealous that he had 2 when most people only have 1. I swear I've never laughed so hard in my life as I did driving home that day. Love you, Grandpa, but OMG.